Welcome to the Purity Pulse podcast, your go-to podcast for the natural health industry and everything Purity Life. I'm Julie Drapeau.
And I'm Erin Macklin.
And today we're going to go through our weekly check-in.
Yeah.
We're going to have Tawnya Ritco from Health First Network.
Right.
And we're going to check on what's new to Purity Life.
Always.
Mm-hmm.
So you're just coming back from
Yes.
a trip, but not vacation, right?
No,
Right.
it's farther in the year, but there's a whole process before we get to October holidays.
Yeah, so tell me a little bit more about when your actual vacation is, because I think originally you were trying to do it
In May.
Right.
Yes,
So we're
yes.
so far past that already, and you've got still a length of time before you even get to do your vacation.
Exactly. Well, it's a long story. Yes, we were supposed to go in May, but then in Egypt, just to be clear. Yeah, to Egypt. Exactly. Long time dream of
Is
mine.
this part of a birthday gift too?
It is.
Yes, okay.
My 50th.
Yes.
And, but so we were, originally supposed to go to Italy. But then when we came back from...
This is a
long
story.
It won't be a short story, people, so get ready. So, I was supposed to go in Italy. Then we traveled for work in India. Fell in love with the exotic kind of side of things. And I said, Italy is great and absolutely want to go.
Right.
But I want to taste a little bit more of that exotic. And in that dream of mine when I was, I would say as far as like 7, 8 years old, thinking of seeing the pyramids and being very mesmerized by Nefertiti and all the story behind that, the mystical of Egypt that I've always read about. So I said, hey, let's flip the trip and just go there. Thinking that it would be as easy as going on Air Canada, book your flight and change the date.
Right. Not so much.
No, absolutely not. So first of all, it was supposed to be in May.
Yeah.
And going on the website and trying to book, we realized that you need, a visa, but not the regular visa.
Right.
If you go to
because
New
you need
Zealand.
a visa for India too, right?
Yeah, India, New Zealand, Australia. But it's easy. Like you can even do it, at the airport, and it takes not long to get it. But this one is very unique. You need to send your passport or go to the embassy either in Montreal or in Ottawa, where they will do an interview with you. And then it takes a little bit of time. Accelerate things if you can get that appointment. But you need to fly there to do that.
Right.
And getting an appointment is not easy. You have to almost be like a hawk on your website, on their website.
Have to do it. That's so interesting because if you lived so much further away, even like that's
and that's the other thing. So in May we couldn't do it because we had that event in Germany with Kyolic, right? So we couldn't give our passport. We need our passport to go to Europe. So we said, okay, let's move it.
They want to keep your passport.
They have to keep, yes. So what we have to do, and we just send all the paperwork right now, is we have to send our passport, and they keep it for about a month. And they go through every pages, everything in there to make sure that everything is, okay to go.
Right.
But then the other little thing that we need to know is that once they review it and they give you the, okay, you can visit Egypt, you have 90 days. Because that visa they give you, it's that window of time.
Oh, man.
Yeah. So right now where we're sitting is hopefully the passport will come back in time.
Right.
Because we already did that deposit for the trip. In October. So, So
I was just trying to think through the timing of that. Like, oh my goodness.
Yeah. So
do you still have to do the interview portion or no?
No, we decided to go that route instead because we have some travel to do. And, as there was that travel with Trace Mineral that we just came back, but we could use our Nexus to travel in the U.S. So this podcast is turning into a travel agency right now. But no, seriously. If you travel in areas that are a little bit more exotic, don't wait till last minute because there's surprises like this. Just even to go back to our trip for work that was in Australia and New Zealand, we got to the airport and we didn't know a thing about that because we were able to book online our flights. There was no signs of saying, hey, warning, you need a visa. So we got to the airport and we were told, where's your visa? You can't go further. And we're like, what? Like, we're flying in 2 hours.
Right.
And she says, oh, well, you have to go on that website. And so we're sitting in
oh my goodness.
We're sitting at Air Canada, taking
Panicking.
our picture on the wall. And then they're like, oh, no, you need a white wall and you can't smile. And it's like, oh my God, we're going to be late. We're going to not catch our flight. But no, everything came back within 20 minutes.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. And it was like, oh God. So if I can save sometimes to anybody that listen or watch this episode, take my advice here. Always check, because there's a lot of change, and depending on what's going on, with the government, sometimes you don't all know all of those things. It makes a big difference. So that's what's happening lately for me. So
how uncomfortable are you with handing over your passport even for that period of time? I feel like that would make you feel a bit naked.
Yeah,
You cannot fly.
For those who know, I can with Nexus. That's why we'll talk about that.
This is really no thing for you.
Yes, but you can't go to Europe. You can't go to the US. So that was the other big thing, because we travel a lot for work. So we had to find a month that we were not going anywhere else than the US or within Canada.
Right.
We can't move without a passport otherwise. But no, I wasn't scared. I think that I have faith in life that my passport would come back. And but yeah, I always have my passport on me. So it's kind of weird to send your passport away, for sure. You almost want to put, maybe I should put the Apple tag on it so I know where it is at all time.
Just duct tape it to the back.
But what about you? Your kids have passport or not yet?
So we haven't run into that quite yet, because we haven't taken them out of, driving into the United States.
Yeah.
But yeah, partly because it's a bit complicated now. Like when my kids were born, they were saying, oh, okay, so you've got to get your birth certificate or whatever, and you could get a regular birth certificate or a long format birth certificate. Yeah. And at the time, the general was like, there's no reason to get a long format birth certificate. It's used for nothing, so you get the regular one. Well, now the rules have changed so that if you want a passport, you have to have a long format birth certificate. So in order for me to get my kids' passports, I have to first go back and get them a new birth certificate.
Oh boy.
And then take that and try and apply for a passport. So it's a whole thing, which I'll do. Yeah. But it's just, hoops that you've got to jump through just to do things like that.
Yeah, I would say definitely a passport, but I'm wondering if you could ask for a Nexus card. I would go on site and try that, because it really facilitates anything. And even for yourself, when you travel, it just cuts off on all the crazy lines, right? So because you're pre-checked, they have a little interview, but I mean, it's nothing scary.
That's a good question. I'll look into that. I wonder if there's different requirements for that.
Yeah, it's a little investment. It's not that expensive, but you can't, it opens the world in a way, right? To travel in the US, especially looking at that. But yeah, that's a busy week, and I'll let you know if I get my passport back, and we'll see.
Yeah, you'll either be in Egypt or you won't.
Totally.
You'll make it. I'm sure you will. I mean, after waiting that long to go on a trip like that, it's got to happen, right?
Yes. So, well, let's go into something a little bit more predictable, I would say, and let's jump into our interview.
Yeah.
Yes, with Tawnya. So, hi, Tawnya, and thank you for joining us today.
Hey, thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
I was talking to Erin earlier on that I think we had the chance, you and I, to meet many times this year compared to all the years that, with HFN seeing each other. But we had the chance to go to France and, we should say Lyon in France for Boiron event. And and recently HFN.
That was an incredible, and I definitely was nice to get a chance to get to know you a bit better there. That was an unbelievable trip. Yeah, it was nice. I didn't get a chance. I've never had a chance to connect with you like that, like you said. And I've seen,
side
now
by
it's
side,
I guess we just have to go to Europe more often. And
I like that idea, so we can talk a little bit more about HFN category management.
Exactly.
But I want to share that with everybody, because we got you on the podcast to talk about health first, where you work, but to know you. I find that often in the industry, we connect with people, but not everybody know how you are as a person, because you're in the background doing the work with Health First and an association. So we like to understand, your background and everything. But what was fascinating when I connected with you and I had the chance to spend more time is how good of a listener you are and how passionate you are. And it's fascinating when we talk to you. You always look like you're so excited to learn. I remember looking at you at Boiron and your eyes were just like so passionate. And then you talk to people and it's so genuine. Sometimes you ask questions to people and you feel like, they're asking because they have to ask questions to have a conversation. But no, you're so interested. I think that's the word. Yeah. So, yeah.
Well, thanks for saying that. I mean, it's I think it also helps that I'm interested in what's being talked about, like the fact of being in the natural health industry and learning and thirst to learn is, it's sort of natural, but I do think that I have an interest in people, like what's their story and like hearing about them, because we can almost learn from everybody that we interact with at some level. So I find that fascinating. Thanks for saying that, Julie.
We had a great time, but definitely. I think we're going to put on our list Europe more often. But take us to a little bit of your background. Like, how did you came about, like, in the industry? Were you in the industry before? Or, tell us.
I kind of got interested in health, personal, like so many things, right? And I had, one of the things that I had an issue with blood sugar issues, but it was to the point that I was getting really moody. Like I was very, very, my up and down, and it was actually impacting some of my relationships, how moody I was getting from this. So I was like, okay, I really have to do, as a kid, my parents actually locked the freezer on me because I would take a spoon and like get the ice cream and spoon it out. So anyways, it was just, I had this huge sugar craving. So it stemmed from there, like early 20s, where I was like, okay, I need to do something about this because it's kind of like an issue. And
I'll have to be put in a cage.
Otherwise in a cage. So I thought, I gotta figure out my options. So I went and I started learning, like, I've got to change this. I've got to make a change myself. And then where it really started going, it's a lot of organic things happen. Whereas my parents, my like some things in my family, my grandfather had a heart attack unexpectedly, and so anyway, my parents started really getting interested in natural health and too as well. And my dad was a distributor, and so I kind of came across it organically. I started my own website like over 2 decades ago, before it was even a thing. I learned how set up code. I was working at the Ministry of Health before. I was working government, so this is totally different. But I knew that this wasn't a great job. Like it had good benefits, all that kind of thing. But it wasn't very it wasn't fulfilling for me. Then it started to go from there. And then I had some opportunities. I worked with Canada Marine Life Science with phytoplankton. And so I've worked anything from, sales and marketing and different things in education. I pursued my nutrition, getting registered holistic nutritionist, because I really was, really wanting to learn more and had a thirst to learn on a personal and then professional level. Yeah. So it sort of just kept going. So all my experience, like, it's, spanning now 25 years, we're talking.
Right.
I don't want to say that because now I'm giving away my age, But
you look great. So yes.
Same to you, Erin. Then it happened over the last 3 years. It brings me to Health First Network, and I loved what it represented, Health First Network, and working with independent health, how passionate they are. And it was, all this experience led to this. And in October, it'll be 3 years with Health First.
Can you give us, just our listeners, a little bit of context of what Health First Network is and kind of what you're doing?
So I'm Director of Marketing and Vendor Relations. We're definitely very collaborative and Health First Network, as you know, Julie, because as you both know about Health First, but it's over almost now 150 members. So it's 108 member stores, and now 108 members, but 147 stores within that. So we're almost at 150. So it's a non-for-profit. It's a 25th anniversary. It was like established in 1999.
Great celebration.
Yes.
Yeah, you were just there. Not that long ago in Toronto. And so it was established to help the independent health, these retailers thrive and survive. But they realize, if you work independently, you don't have that power that a collective group has. So it started out very, small, grew with, these original members, and that vendor partners. Actually, Purity is one of the founding vendor partners.
Right. Yeah.
And grew from there to what it is today. There's such a passionate group. Like, you talk to some of these member stores, and they are, they're so passionate.
Yeah.
Yeah. They're so, and they're, it's not meant to be just serving customers. It's really about developing relationships and communities. And the whole idea is really to have within that every community without coast to coast, there's a Health First store, and that they are supporting. And then they're the community go-to because they're so passionate with education and serving. Like, a lot of them know their customers on a first name basis.
Yeah.
It's like going to your coffee shop, or at least mine. They know me on a first name basis. But, that's really the to help them thrive and strive. And they're great network of people, because then they also have the group collectively that they have these resources within the network as well.
Yeah, true independent retail stores. I was going to say, I'm sure that one of the big things that you can provide to them is those connections that a lot of these stores, it's a single location or a couple locations, and kind of having that benefit of being able to reach out to other people in the same situation that are trying to do similar things, and gaining that knowledge and gaining those, in some senses, like partnerships of sharing, right?
And the tools. I think that your group is providing a lot of tools that some independent could not have on their own. And and the world has changed a lot. So there's a lot more pressure on the independent to be successful, because there's a lot more big chains and we definitely, since COVID, it has accelerated that, and you have a lot of groups that are bought. And then so for all those regional, like, also, you're not just regional, but there's a lot of smaller store that they're on their own, and they need that tool and that support and that sophistication that I think that you guys are bringing to them. Data and how to organize merchandising and flyers that you do for them too, right?
That's right. Yeah, because there's a national flyer program, which would be hard to put together, where we work with our partners. We also have like an e-news program where they can sign, where it's coming from their own store, and then because it's a lot to put together content to put out to our. So how much it is, how long it takes to put content together, and that, and all these web hosted sites to help support them and that kind of thing. So there's a lot that we're able to provide to help. And like you said, the network itself, like sharing those ideas with each other, and being able to also look across network, the data insights program to see like how things are trending, what's happening in the network within itself and outside. So being able to keep up with that. It's
valuable, right? Definitely.
Yeah.
With the changing retail landscape, how are you seeing growth within your community?
So there's definitely a lot of change. I feel like it's a good opportunity in the sense of more awareness over the last 3 years. I think with health in general, people are, because even when you look at the trends and things like that, even when you look at an immune category, even if it goes down, like it's up. Just even if you look over 3 years. So there's a lot of things that have changed over the course of for what's been happening in the world over the last while. But there's more awareness, and I think there's a whole new generation. So it is going to be consistently empowering education, because it's not just about a trend that happens, which is, keeping up with the trends and keeping up with innovation is important, but also empowering them of why they're doing what they're doing. And that's what I feel like the stores really do, is they empower the customer, empowering them for the reason, and education behind that you don't just get, just going in somewhere else. They're able to help them support that way.
So to go back at your role at First, so you basically facilitate, like you meet with brands, distributor, of course, and then you help facilitate some deals and promotion for all of the retailers, right, for your groups.
Yes, yeah, exactly. For example, we've worked with you and work with brands, put together what we can do to help offer the network. Yeah. So whether it's deals to be able to and also what education things behind that. So it'll just to help support them overall. So like a lot with whether it's in our national flyer program, whether it's if it's an intro deal to get them on board, to get them going. Sometimes if it's something that can be sampled out, then just working with that to help support them, and sometimes just even bringing awareness to make sure that here's what's coming up. Here's what's new. Yeah. That's why the AGM is so great when you're at the trade show and being able to share with them. Yeah, and that's what we found coming out of that with the tabletops and showcasing with some of the brands, being able to go back and they were able to speak directly with you and with their other brand partners, able to talk about and ask questions. And then it's really nice because they are able to ask each other questions as well. So, and then we, coming out of that even, we've even setting up plans for, hey, what resonated for them and being able to put some actions in plan, like what do we want to focus on in future to help support them with a strategy. So that's great. I mean, we rely on working with and collaborating with our partners, like yourself, and working with that, because it really is about a collaboration. The members, our brand partners and that to work together. And that's really where the strength is in the whole network.
So do you have a big team working with you? Because I would assume that you're not the person who meets with everybody with every categories, because that would be a tough one.
Yes. Yeah, we have definitely a big team. We have a big team with a lot of different expertise in areas. Yeah. We have so we have a team, like a category team, which actually has one separate for food and HABA. Yeah. It's focused on that. And then in the supplements, so we do because there's a lot to put together with that. We have Susie has been around for 17 years, who knows like literally everything about all the little details about everything. Yeah, the ins and outs. So we really work as very collaborative team to work together and like support some of those things, and meeting with our brand partners and being able to like work out strategies, taking a look at what's working well, where are we seeing that there's where areas to focus and to help support them. So that's and then the head office is in Burlington itself. So which is
I've been there.
And it's you've been there for sure. It's so I mean I'm working out in the north, in the west, so I get up nice and early, not as early as usually, but early.
Yeah, it's very good. It's incredible that you've managed to kind of build this box of experts that these independent retailers can just tap into, right? Yes. Like what an opportunity for a store that couldn't have, a whole set of category managers and marketers and buyers and whatnot. And here you've just kind of come in and been like, here you go. Here's your experts. Yeah. Here's what you need to know, and just kind of like hand out all the support. What a great idea, and what a great system that you can kind of provide to those independents. If brands or retailers are interested in kind of trying to find out a little bit more, like how can they get involved with you?
So they can connect directly, like on the website. You can reach out to us specifically. It also helps is, like a lot of times some of these brands are, they're, maybe not able to make minimum orders and things like that. So when you have a distributor in place, it does help support them to get going. So we do work, collaboratively with brands. So that's definitely helpful. And then a lot of times it's, some of our existing brands, even elevating them is looking at some of the plans that we can do. Sometimes that is, whether it's whether it's sampling, whether it's giving education, like finding out where those gaps are to make sure that we're, empowering retailers so that they can empower their customers.
Yeah.
So that's there. But staying, it's really important for them. They're such a passionate group to stay ahead of the curve with the innovations and things like that, to not fall behind. And they're the perfect group that really help educate, because they are the ones that do spend that time with their customers and take the time to do that.
Yeah,
absolutely.
So
direct on the floor.
Yeah. We have.
And maybe one last question for you on this is, well, generally speaking, we like to know about the corporate values and what's important. So what would you say that are maybe one or a couple of the corporate values that you have at Health First? It gives us always like an in on, what drives your decision.
Trust is a big one. Communication, collaboration, to empower our retailers and our customers to really empowering them, with that.
Yeah, collaboration makes sense, right? For you guys to collaborate amongst, the head office team to better help all the independents. So
it's a big team, and I see that there's, even we have at the store level, we have that go out and also with our sales team as well. So there's such a operation team. So it's a big group, and we all overlap in ways like we have to, communication between. So it's a big team, but that's really grown, and it is. I'm thrilled to be a part of it. It's especially after
years.
you go.
Yeah,
25 years.
Yeah, there's not a lot of association that make it through the time, right? The test of time, and especially with all the changes that are happening and that have happened lately at a crazy pace that definitely changed the full landscape. But you're still there, standing strong. So congratulations.
It was great to reflect for those people and some of the original members and vendor partners to actually reflect on that. So,
to make time to celebrate. I was in another meeting yesterday. We're talking about that, and you and I talked about that a lot before too. That too often, like we run, we do things, but we don't really take time to stop and really celebrate and really think about how far you've come, or celebrating an event that I'm sure you've prepared a lot for that Health First event, for that celebration. But then you sit with your team and really appreciate the success. That's key. We don't do that enough, right? So
it's so true. You do take it in, you run to the next, and it's so important to do. I feel like that a little bit more now that I realize that. I don't know if it comes with a little bit of age, but you do, like, maybe. I think about that a lot more. Maybe a tiny bit.
Yeah,
I think about that a lot more now. Yeah,
we need to celebrate after CHFA. That's what the team was talking yesterday. We said, you know what, we work all so hard at CHFA, and then we wrap, and then on to the next. But no, let's sit and enjoy a moment together.
Yeah, absolutely. Where you sort of take it all in and just allow everybody to celebrate in each. It's good because it really lifts your spirits after an event like that you do want to take it in. There's a lot of energy expended, and then you're
just a bit.
Just a tiny bit, just a little bit, a huge amount. But no, it's so true.
It's good. Amazing. Well, should we? Let's jump into some rapid fire. You ready, Tawnya?
Okay, I think so. I'm ready.
Don't be scared. They're not too tough.
What would you say is a non-negotiable in your morning routine?
Non-negotiable in my morning routine. Okay, I would say, this is going to be simple because it is simple, but it is non-negotiable. Lisa, before I even get out of bed, I do some stretches. Just getting my body move. I have to move. Oftentimes when we're working, it's easy to sit down and start working. And, just get up, after a shower, you just get out and you get to work. So I need to get stress out of my, start the day. So moving, and I have a dog, Oreo, so you can imagine his color. And sometimes I don't think just all or nothing. It's like, just get your body moving, just get, to start your day, fuel your day. And then I do have, I actually have it right now on me, is I have my greens first thing in the morning. So I have a mason jar to just make sure I'm hydrated.
Yeah. When you start with that right out of the gate, it's check. You're good to go, right? Yeah. Well, that's good.
I think it's so true.
Simple, but
yeah. Especially if you're work from home, sometimes it's easy to just kind of slide over and you get into something and then you're into it, and now you're just working, right? So I think making it a non-negotiable is key, because otherwise you just slide into a habit.
Simple is great, because when it's too complicated that you have to drive to get somewhere or to do certain steps, like it just lasts, right? Discipline is really hard sometimes to get. So when it's easy as taking your greens and just stretching or having a walk with your dog, it's easy.
I think it is just, making it sustainable. So totally, to make it long-term, micro things
things. True.
Micro things,
that with age and time too. What was your first or the natural product that you still remember to this day, that either that was your first one or that was like, wow, your big discovery?
Still greens, actually.
Yeah.
I did take my greens it was probably the first thing. So I was taking, but I think the big thing that I realized is I went through a very stressful time. And so I was really depleted in B complex, and took some tests. I was really low on my B. Everything was great, but my B, and I really felt it in my body. And I just, the B, I would say, for me, I needed to just, the magnesium B, like the core, some of those core things, were like essential for me. Yeah. I've obviously gone past that, but that was sort of what at that time I needed.
Your entry to the natural.
Yeah, my entry. Yeah.
What would you say is your favorite way to stay active?
I love nature. So I feel very grounded. Also, having a dog helps, because you have to get to the trails. Used to have these prospecting ventures with my dad where we'd fly in by helicopter and then go. So I actually have this thing about, getting out on the trails. Like, if I can get active and be in the trails, I'm really happy. It just really grounds me. So I would definitely say, it's my happy place. Yeah.
Do you have trails nearby where you are?
There is. So I have no excuse. Like, it's easy, 5 minutes I can get to a trail kind of thing.
Nice. Perfect.
Yeah.
I'm sure that keeps Oreo happy as well.
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
And that's something when you travel too, that it's easy again to do. So you don't feel like, oh, I can go to the gym or this or that. You just go outside and can have like a nice walk too.
So true. Yeah. I just feel like it does it does for me. It just helps center me for sure.
Good.
I just have to, I can't just gloss over this. So, sorry, did you used to do helicopter drops and go for hikes?
Yes. Yeah. So since I've been a kid, my dad is still with his buddy. He's like 80. He was going out, but I'm like, okay, this is not, trudging through the bush a bit. But so since I've been a kid, it's been kind of great. So as soon as I could, we would either drive in or fly in by helicopter and get picked up 5 days later. So would prospecting. So it was a really kind of cool thing that we did, and really just it stems from there. It's been like a family tradition. My dad is
adventurer.
Adventure. So it's probably where it was instilled for sure.
That's cool.
That is fascinating.
It was a great experience.
So the next question was, what other career would you do if you could do anything? Would you say, climber, professional, some type of rock climber, or climbing Mount Everest and explorer, or I don't know?
I would say, it's hard to think of being outside the natural health industry, actually. It's, difficult for me to think of that. But, I even thought like photojournalism or documentaries. Like, I like hearing about people's stories. Yeah, that's an interesting question. I've thought of that before, and it's
I just had a vision of you working for the National Geographic, being dropped at some place in the jungle and doing some type of big research and maybe finding some new ingredients and bringing it back into the natural.
Kind of like that.
That was the response to maybe like a photojournalist, because you like people's stories. Because you had said earlier that you picked up on that right away, that Tawnya loves people's stories, and it's so interesting. Yeah, there's something there for you, Tawnya.
There's some vision there.
There you go. There's still time.
Yeah, there's always time. What is one thing, other than helicopter landing, that people would be surprised to learn about you?
I've been skydiving twice. I have a 7-year-old. Now my daredeviling, my days are, I won't go go there. But yeah, I was on my list to do, and it was a great experience. I mean, I don't need to do it again, but that's probably skydiving a couple of times. I felt like if I could do that, I could do anything. I felt like Superwoman when I did that. I won't do it again, but yeah.
Great.
Have any of you been? Have either of you been skydiving?
I haven't skydived. Not yet. That's always my answer. Not yet. So we'll see.
How are you with heights?
I'll deal with it.
Yeah, just push through it.
I'm like that.
Well,
like
I did see
twice. I wouldn't say that I love heights. I like heights if I'm in a building and my office was like at the top of the top of the world. That would be fantastic. But to jump off, I don't know. I would. I think I would like just to be pushed and then you go.
I was just going to say, "Oh, come on, give you a little push, Julie. Don't worry."
Yeah.
Maybe we could go tied.
Yeah, it scares me.
We'll get
thinking about it.
Yeah. But I definitely see. It's funny that it's kind of a vision that I have of you now. Of that, you have that adventure, Daredevil in you, and it's like it's gonna come out, and you're gonna go back and do a lot of all those fun things soon.
You have to report back. We want to hear about it.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Yeah, I definitely will. That's good. Thanks for the encouragement.
Well, we can do that in Europe if you want. We'll find a time.
Yeah. I got to do that at safari or something, or that I saw what your pictures of. That was pretty incredible.
Yeah, walking with the lions. So definitely something to do.
That's on my list, I think, after seeing that. So.
Well, we can talk later. I can hook you with some lions.
Yeah, that would be good. That'd be great.
Your friends with the lions.
My friends with the lions, exactly. Well, thank you so much for your time. It was so good to learn about you more, but also understanding and showing, why the 25 years of success with Health First. So, we really appreciate your time with us today.
Yeah. No, thank you so much. Yeah, I appreciate it. And thank you.
Thanks. It was great having you.
Thanks.
All right, now it's time for the segment of New to Purity Life.
Yes.
So we're announcing Maple Organics, this great brand, and their mission is to revolutionize medicine cabinets with non-synthetic pure alternatives.
Absolutely.
And that they have really achieved because they have really brought up some great natural options to put in place of some of the kind of more mainstream alternatives.
Conventional. Yeah, exactly. And what I like about the brand, if we speak from the outside to inside the product, for those who are listening, packaging wise, it's very clear. So you know what it's meant for.
Yes.
By
just
the
even
name of
their
them.
product names are really good. Things
Absolutely.
like muscle therapy, joint therapy.
Yeah, absolutely. And then on top of that, when you display the product, each product has a different color, so it's easy to identify. And I mention that because often in the therapeutic category, it's a little bit difficult because being therapeutic, people think that doesn't need to be pretty on the outside. As long as the product does the job, that's all good. But that's a big mistake because products get lost on shelf. And I can tell you that when we do a planogram, that's the hardest category to merchandise because of that. So I think, I would say kudos to Maple Organic that from starting from the outside, they've done a great job at that. And also French and English, which is well done. So that's always very much appreciated. But when we go into the ingredients, definitely, what's your favorite? Have you had the chance to try them?
Actually, so I've had a couple of these at home. They have a Cold and Flu Junior, which I've used. The lavender skin therapy I have on my desk at work, which I really enjoy because it's kind of, it's a nice hand balm, but then it has that lavender. It's kind of calming as well.
Soothing.
So you have those extra bonus benefits. The one that I was most impressed by was actually the joint therapy.
Really?
Yeah. So I used that. One of my sons was having, I want to say I couldn't really tell you exactly what it was. He woke up in the middle of the night, severe pain in his leg. And I'm thinking, okay, well, it's probably growing pains or something. Could have been a cramp. I'm not really sure. He wouldn't have been able to define it that well. Grabbed this because I was like, to do something. And right away he was like, oh yeah, no, that's starting to feel better. And within 5 minutes he was back asleep. Really effective. He loved it. And I've used it again since then and had similar results.
Maybe the active key ingredients in there would have been the arnica.
Yeah.
And there's camphor as well, which in a lot of the different products, they do have camphor, not all of them, but it's very cooling and refreshing. So when you have either pain, it's a key ingredient for sure.
The wound therapy is really nice too, kind of like a natural polysporin.
Yes,
so I like having that around too. I've been able to use that because you do get into those situations where you know you need to put something on it, and you don't want like you want to put something clean on it, but you also want to make sure that it's going to be effective. So that's a really nice one to kind of have in the medicine cabinet too.
My favorite is the muscle therapy.
Yeah.
Yes, love it because again of that camphor that there's in this one, and there's rosemary and also salicylic or methyl salicylate in there, so it's anti-inflammatory. But smell it, like just smelling it, you can feel the active, like it's just open. You don't even have it on your body, but when you apply it, you have that nice cooling effect, and because it's a gel, it's a double cooling effect. It's not like a cream. It really penetrates really well, and it's not sticky and doesn't leave a greasy feeling as well. So that's definitely a must for anybody that does any type of working out, or even what I found was on your feet. If you're doing lots of trade shows, lots of trade shows or lots of walking, that's fantastic. You just put that on at night and you feel like brand new feet in the morning. So kudos to the brand. Well done.
And that's the end of another episode. Thanks so much for joining us. Make sure that you subscribe so you don't miss any new episodes. Send us your feedback to marketing@puritylife.com. Make sure to check us out on Instagram. We're at Purity Life Health Products LP. I'm at Erin G. Macklin.
And I'm JD_Girl Power. And next week, we're going to have Amanda Santalucia, one of our key account manager.
That's right.
To share with us some good stories.
And check out our seasonal highlights pre-book, which is live on Customer Link now and will be available until September 27th.